Hey guys, that's your commentary today. Watcher of Realms, welcome to the video, guys. Send us some love, some positive vibes your way, especially if you need it out there today. My heart goes out to you. If so, if you're going through something, just understand that things, hey, they usually get better in time. As much as you're struggling right now, if you are out there, for those of you who need to hear it, I've mentioned this before on my Raid channel, on my Clash channel, but I mention it here. You know, I've gone through some really, really tough times. You know, I lost 2 siblings and a parent, you know, and I felt like things would never, ever get better. But I'm here to remind you guys that if you are going through something, and hopefully you're not, you know, hopefully you're just like, oh God, eye roll, here he goes again with the intro, with the love and positive vibes. But if you are, you know, just want to be another voice telling you that you can get through it. And if you look back, if I look back on those hard times in my life, I know that I was somehow able to persevere, and I'm here and I'm doing well, and you will too. Listen guys, my son, really quickly here, we'll get into the video, I promise, in like 30 seconds or less. My son, we beat Tears of the Kingdom together. I told you guys that last month. I'll be brief here. But now he's gotten into Minecraft.
Why are you saying like that?
I say that with such a tone because I never played Minecraft. I played Zelda growing up. I know that jam. I don't know Minecraft. I don't know. Even though we work with a lot of Minecraft content creators at my job, shout out to Right Guy Rocky, to Carves, a bunch of others out there. But nah, man, that's not my jam. I don't know how to craft. I don't know how to mine. I'm too old. So I don't know. I want to ask you parents out there. I want to ask you for your advice. Should I embrace it and learn Minecraft with the kiddo? He's only 6, so I like to play games with him, not by himself, you know? Or should I direct him or steer him? You know that parent move, right? Where you subtly steer your child in the direction of things that you enjoy from your childhood, a little nostalgia injection, if you will, into your offspring. Anyway, you guys let me know how you would handle such situations. I'm probably just gonna freaking learn Minecraft, damn it. Anyway, guys, listen, newsflash, I'm not an expert at Watcher of Realms. I don't know why you're watching me, honestly. There's a lot better content creators than me. There's a lot other content creators out there who've been playing this game for a lot longer than I have. But what I do have is, A, can admit to you guys that I'm not an expert. B, I binge their content. So I try to learn from them and share my learnings with you guys and recommend them along the way, of course, as well. But I say all that to say that, hey, I get a lot of heroes wrong too, you know? Sometimes I will do a summoning, I will pull, and you guys let me know about it. Please continue to let me know about it. I'm asking you to, because I'm relying on you guys, some vets who've been playing this game for a long time, you know, pre-global launch and the other servers and beta and alphas and all this stuff, right? I don't know about any of that stuff. I've been playing for about 4 or 5 months, you know? So I'm learning a lot, I'm learning fast, but I'm still got a long way to go, is what I'm trying to say. I'm relying on you guys to flag things when I do them wrong, or if I say something wrong, that way I can make a video talking about it, because I know not everybody reads these comments. That being said, sometimes I'll summon really good. Let me just YOLO some summons real quick, right? Legendary? Okay. But here we go in epic. Let's pretend this is a video. See, back in the day, I wouldn't have known anything about Decimus. I wouldn't have even commented on him, but now we know that Decimus is one of the best rares in the game, because of this passive Defiance, right? So I'm learning as I go. Livian, we know that Livian's a pretty, you know, a pretty capable control epic defender, right? So anyway, if you want to see guides on any of these heroes, I'm happy to make them. The one reason I say all that is that there's been some heroes that I haven't even, I think I pulled Pyros, for example. I didn't even mention anything. I was just like, next! Where's the legendaries? Next! And that was stupid, man. I should be very excited about that poll. Here are 6 heroes that I got wrong. And when I say I got wrong, it's not like I sat here and I didn't make videos talking about how much I didn't like any of these heroes, to be honest with you. But these are heroes, all of them, that when I pulled them in summoning videos here on the channel, I didn't give a reaction or I was underwhelmed. I will start with the hero that I just made a video on, right? And it's Novus, the Scarecrow. Dude, this dude's a monster, man.
How about I sit here until you fall asleep?
Monster. Very clear and upfront with you on this guy. I don't think he's like an endgame mage out there in the game, but boy, he can smack close to the end game, you know? Like, he's really, really cool. And I must have pulled, actually, no, I pulled like 6 copies of this dude, and I never once batted an eye. I was just like, oh, Navras, next. Nah, dude, I was wrong. He's really cool. He's really cool. He's got great burst damage, right? Meaning that his, you know, his basic and his regular attacking when he's not using his ultimate it's okay. It's okay. It's just okay. It's average. But when you pop that ult on this dude, I compared it, and a few of you guys in the comments on that video that I did a guide on him, a few of you guys knew what I was talking about old school gamer here. You know, Ghosts and Goblins, or Ghouls and Ghosts, whatever you want to call it, arcade version or whatever, when you pick up the flame weapon accidentally, it's like, This dude is a maniac when you ult him, when you pop it. It's crazy. He summons spirit ravens to attack random targets in range. Each raven deals a 50% magic damage and it lasts for 12 seconds. I'm gonna be real with you guys. You read this alt spirit raven, it doesn't really jump off, at least to me, it doesn't jump out the page as like, oh my God, that's broken, he's a beast. But he is. But he is. So I would refer you guys to that video. Straw Minion on auto summons a scarecrow that will explode on contact every 4 basic attacks, dealing 150% AoE damage. Again, I would refer you guys to that video. The cool thing about this dude too is he excels in areas that aren't just, you know, not just gear raid or whatever, which I feel like some mages are kind of, not all, but some are restricted more to Gear Raid 1 type content, just like that's it. But he's good in all arena situations, which is really cool from an epic hero especially. He's really good in Tide as well, against Tide bosses as well. Obviously he's great in faction trials. He's great in gold and EXP raid as well. So he shines in some areas where some of you guys might need some burst damage help. So I really love Novus. I was able to get him all the way awakened, increasing my Spirit Raven's damage. I don't think it's like a game changer, absolute must get him to awaken 5 at all cost, but definitely helps as it does with most heroes in the game. All right, enough about Novus. Let's go to a legendary here, guys, and we don't have to go far because boy, oh boy, Venoma is gonna be my next one. Now this one, I was right and I was wrong, okay? So I liked Venoma simply because of her Lord skill, right? She was one of the first legendaries that I pulled inside this game. Increased faction allies, blah, blah, blah. Reduce faction allies skill cost 25%, which is actually pretty cool. Increase allies rage, not faction allies, just allies rage by 30% upon their first deployment, okay? So I knew that all I had to do was have her on my team. I didn't even need to play her on the battlefield. But everybody's rage is going to be bumped by 30% is on their first deployment, right? As soon as they're deployed, right? For the first time. And I knew that all I needed to do was stick her on my team. I didn't even need to upgrade her. But I think that was a trap for me a bit. You know, kind of like Volca, same way. You know, I don't have her on the list because frankly, I don't have her maxed out yet. But kind of like Volca with Venoma, I was like, you know what? Let's just put her on the team. We won't even use her. And that's that. That's that. We'll just gain the Lord skill on all allies. It's not just, you know, just the faction, of course, you know. But turns out she's actually a pretty freaking gnarly hero herself. She can put out some pretty cool debuffs. She's got a single target on the basic. Okay. Her talent is the basic attack has a 20% chance to apply a curse to enemies. Cursed units are unable to perform their basic attack for 4 seconds. That's pretty strong. Granted, it is one enemy at a time, but hey, we start pumping that out, 20% curse, you can do some pretty cool things there in terms of a control. On her ult, after a short channeling, deals 480% AoE damage to enemies in the front area, inflicting hex upon them. You can kind of see the video, if you will, of this, right? So what does Hex do? It receives 20% magic damage from the caster per second for 5 seconds, okay? Passive number 1. When inflicting Hex on an enemy, slows them down by 50% for 2 seconds, but you can get that duration up. Passive number 2, after attacking 7 times, the next attack deals 90% extra damage and inflicts Hex, bouncing to 2 more enemies. 5-second Hex on the Cursing Gaze. So the Curse, the Hex, the basically negating their ability to use their basic skills, right? And like more damage than I was expecting. So like I'm talking Gear Raid 1, I don't need to have her in my not on the battlefield, excuse me, like on the roster but not in the battlefield. She actually shines on the battlefield. Like it was probably a month of me playing before I'm like, you know what, let's actually try her out, not just using for her passive. And she was way better than value over replacement, so I have to recommend Venoma to you guys. I don't have her awakened at all, but I do want to check it out real quick. Enemies affected by Hex cause 50% AoE damage upon their death. You guys see that? Sorry. Faction allies penetration plus 5% on the Lord skill. Cursing Gaze also inflicts curse. Okay, that's pretty cool. And then rage regen, and then basic attack target plus 1 on the A5. Oh man, that's nasty, right? Because you get the curse on top of that. it's all pretty cool. I want to ask you guys really quickly, legendary heroes in this game. Do any of you have anybody like A5, A4, A3, A2 even? I'm assuming some of you guys might have A1s, but you know what? I only have one legendary more than an A1 in this game. More than one awakened. You want to guess who it is? It's really, really dirty, man. This dude right here, he's not on my list, but he might be on my list. I might make a video on Azor soon. But yeah, I have him A4. I don't know why. I said he was the worst defender in the game, and then Moonton, the developer of Watcher, you know what they did, right? There was some guy who doesn't like me because I said something bad about the game in Mouton headquarters, and he's like, he went right into my account and he programmed the code. He programmed the code. Give Ash only Azors. I hate it, man. I hate it. It's not cool. All right, let's move this along, man. I am going long in this video. Golly, what has gotten into me? Laurel. Laurel's unbelievable, guys. She's again. Don't read the stupid reviews, man. It's baloney. She's probably one of the most underused, I feel like, heroes just based on, you know, what I hear. Maybe I'm wrong. Her talent, right? Increases rage regen by 1. Additionally, upon death or removal, okay? Not just death, removal from the battlefield. Provides surrounding allies with the restoration of 50% of their rage cap. Come on, man. 50% rage boost when you remove her from the battle. You can like trigger like almost back-to-back Dolores's alts and just power everybody else up exponentially. It's insane, right? When the skill is activated on the ultimate, restores 3% of the max rage for 2 random allies within range every 2 seconds for 8 seconds. And then grants damage increase by 10% for 5 seconds to allies every time they use their ultimate. However, this effect won't trigger during her own ultimate. But man, you get the damage bonus. You get the rage regen on the ult, but really it's all about that talent, man. You can get a lot of value. Think about all the combinations that you can use with Laurel because of that talent. It's really incredible. You know, I want to run her with Volca, get the synergies there, maybe with Volca and Venoma. I mean, how cool is that, right? All right, so Laurel is definitely on my list. Next up, guys, I want to go to a marksman here, right? Now, this is a dude that you guys probably know a little bit better than I know. But boy, is he freaking good. But it's none other than Thein, right? So Thein, for whatever reason, I kind of held off a while to, he's a fusible, permanent fusion, epic marksman, so everybody can get their hands on this dude. And as I said, you guys probably know more than I do about him. Well, I know a bit. I know a lot to know that I slept on him for way, way, way too long. He's got 100% damage to one enemy after attacking multiple times. He hurls his large saber at the enemy, and it prioritizes airborne units, AoE damage upon hitting targets, okay? He also has a ultimate, Blade Hurl. Throws a spinning blade that deals damage equal to 100% attack. The blade stays in place and deals AoE damage equal to 85% of this hero's attack per second to surrounding enemies by 10 seconds. That's a really good AoE ult, man. It's really good. I really underestimated the damage that this dude can do, man. Expect a guide on him coming soon, too. I had so much fun building this guy. Blade Hurl in Large Saber can inflict slow for 1 second, but movement speed minus 50% to their surrounding enemies. So we've got a great slow candidate. He's got a low cost, which I love, 11 cost on this dude. He's got the great slow, the great AoE. He can put out some big time damage, increase the slow effect, but to 75% on A1. Definitely want to get this guy enhanced to A1. Then you get that slow all the way up to 75%. The large saber trigger restores rage by 50 on A3, another very good awakening skill. And then attack speed on A4, and then all the way on A5, the blade triggered by Blade Hurl deals damage to a larger area when it stays in place. I do not have him at A5. You guys can tell me, how large is that area? Is it like dramatically OP, or is it just like, okay, nice to have? You guys can let me know on that one. Hey, we have 2 more, and they're both legendary. One is Razzak. So when I pulled Razzak, you guys might remember that summoning video. Some of you guys gave me grief about it because I was like, all right, this guy seems all right.
What is that look?
You know, I could use him in EXP raid at least, right? EXP obtained through battle is increased by 5% on the passive. But when I pulled him, I was pretty underwhelmed. 22 cost for this dude. And like, okay, he's got the extra experience, whatever, man, whatever, right? Now, I was wrong again on this dude, right? He actually deals, I gotta be real, his AoE attack, right, is just okay in my experience. Like his damage is just mediocre, I would say. But his burst damage, AKA when you're triggering his ultimate Ocean's Clutch, I mean, it just says it. Look at the screen and look at the number, man. I mean, it's not that crazy. You see 700% damage to enemies, all enemies in range, which is a pretty nasty range. He's one of my favorite burst damage dealers in the game, really. You want to really pair him with a Dolores, right? If you have her. I mean, hopefully if you have Razzak, you have Dolores. Hopefully, if you don't, I hope you get her soon. You put him with Dolores, and you trigger their ult at the same time, and man, this dude deals some absolutely insane, nasty damage. Each basic attack launched has a 30% chance of generating soul-eating fish, attacks one enemy with the highest HP percentage, remaining dealing 200% damage. Not a bad talent on top of that. So EXP raid tied with this range. He's got really nice range, right? Gear raid 3, 5s out of 5s, and I agree with those ratings in all of those categories. Arena anti-air, gear raid 1, gear raid 2, these are all areas this dude absolutely shines, but none better in my opinion than gear raid 3, because you can basically put him on the side and he annihilates on either one of the sides all of those mobs, plus his range. It's a beautiful thing. So I really underestimated Razzak. He's a really cool Lego, man. All right, last but not least is gonna be a fighter. I never hear people talk about this fighter, and it's Valkyrie. Man, I love her. I think she's my favorite fighter in the game at this time. I'm not saying she's the best. Maybe it's one of those moves where you go to a movie and people all say it kind of sucks, and then you go in with a low expectation, and then you walk out saying, oh my God, that was an amazing movie, because your expectations were set so low. Not to say that people told me that Valkyrie sucked, but I just never heard her name mentioned as one of the top fighters in the game. Not to be confused with Valeria, excuse me with the names there, but they're very similar. They're both fighters, you know. Everybody loves her, but no one really talks about Valkyrie, and I love Valkyrie, man.
You don't want to marry me.
I don't know why she doesn't get the credit she deserves. I mean, the ratings are actually really good in here too. She's a magic fighter, she's a range boost, and then she's ally revival. Her own range is insane, right? I think people look at maybe an arrogance or something, and they wish that she was air targeting all the time like he is. Maybe that's it. She has that beautiful range where you can put her in artifact material raid, for example. You can position her at the top of the screen, you know, the top two corners, and you can face her down, and she'll clear not only her corner, but she'll also clear whoever's down there, you know, getting close to the boss, to Salazar or whatever. So anyway, Valkyrie is awesome in that situation, but she's good almost everywhere. I really love her. She's got a 20 cost, so not cheap. She's 100% AoE damage to multiple enemies in range. This is her basic, and inflicts vulnerability to magic damage on them. That's a 15%. That's not bad at all. This is an AoE debuff on the basic, okay? Her ultimate, Radiant Shadow, increased damage by 40% for 20 seconds. Consumes any shield the hero has at present, increasing attack range by 1, attack speed by 100, and damage up to 100% based on the strength of the shield. Very interesting shield synergy. Of course, I always run her with Vortex. Increase attack by 3% after every 17 seconds up to 8 times, and the effect lasts permanently. So it's good to put her as one of your first units out on the battlefield. And then the second passive, Miracle, it makes her quite the paladin. Immediately revives an allied unit in range and restores 50% HP for them. It can be triggered once per battle, but you can get that HP all the way booked up to 100%. I think I was like mildly excited when I pulled her, but man, she, like I said earlier, she's one of my favorite fighters. I mean, she's got great debuffs. She's actually got pretty solid damage. She's not like the highest DPS fighter in the game. Got very solid damage. She scales and gets more powerful over time, which is is great, right? Even her ultimate kind of works like that. It lasts for 20 seconds. She just keeps powering up as well. She's got that great shield synergy, and she's got the revival on top of that. She's doing so much with such incredible range. I love her, guys. So there you have it. Those are my favorite heroes in the game that I feel like I kind of got wrong. I underestimated when I initially summoned them. Who did you underestimate? I want to hear from you guys in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, take care, guys.